with Nam Kiwanuka is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Dazzling and a nod to drag history. I'm Nam Kiwanuka, and tonight on the agenda in the summer, performer Juice Boxx returns for an update on the field and her career. Also, a report from our Ontario hubs on Northern refreshments. In 2016, we met two up-and-coming local performers who aspired to careers in the glamorous but sometimes maligned tradition of drag. Have a look. I want to bring in some historical context because drag has been around for a long time. Now, in the beginnings, drag performance has existed since the days of Shakespeare, when men played female roles, and later, bearded ladies attracted audiences in circuses. By the mid-20th century, drag had gained mainstream attention. In the 1960s, a freedom-loving counterculture and unisex fashion moved drag from the stage into the street, and there was also a greater interest in gender fluidity. In the 1970s, glam rock artists such as Elton John, David Bowie, and Queen wore makeup and feminine clothing, blurring the gender lines. The Rocky Horror Picture Show experimented with sexual social norms. By the 1980s and 90s, there was a moral backlash due to the AIDS crisis, and that pushed drag from the pop scene back into the fringes of the gay scene. By the 2000s, popular reality show RuPaul's Drag Race gave viewers an appreciation for the art of drag, the people who perform it, and the social issues it raises. Juice Boxx, what's drag culture like today?
It's a lot more mainstream, I feel. Like, a lot more people know about it. They don't really know everything about it, but there's a lot more people, like, if I ever tell someone, like, oh, well, I do drag, they'll be like, oh my God, like RuPaul, like Latrice Royale, like, they'll say stuff like that because they watch the show, right? So I feel like, and it's also a little bit more accepted. It's less kind of like in the gutter and kind of in the background.
What do you owe that to? What do you think that is?
Well, it's definitely, it is definitely that it's a little bit more in pop culture now, so it feels a little bit easier to do, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the RuPaul's reality show, do you think that has changed drag or how people perceive drag? Because it's a reality television?
They've kind of dumbed it down, is that a good word for it? A bit.
They kind of sugarcoated it, I feel like.
How so?
Drag has so many layers to it, you know what I mean? And there's so much struggle with it. There's so many more dynamics with drag. There's so many friendships and complications and everything. And I feel like RuPaul's Drag Race is amazing for what it's done in the mainstream culture, and it's really showed everybody, you know, this is who we are. But at the same time, now when people see drag queens, just like you said, they compare you. So before, when we started doing drag, before the show, you know, we were just our own person. And now, you know, that people are watching the show who have never seen a drag queen before, they're thinking, well, you must be like that, and you have to be like this person. And there's so many different unique layers to drag that sometimes the show gets misconstrued.
Oh, so you think maybe like, because people watch the show and they see the characters, because they are characters, they're on the reality show, they're all playing a part. So people now assume that if they see a drag queen, they should be portraying maybe like a stereotype or a caricature from the show.
Like, even if there's like even a costume or something, or a look that they've done on the show, and that's something that you've done before or something you've always wanted to do, and then you end up like doing it, you're immediately compared and it becomes a mirror image, right?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about misconceptions. What are some of the biggest misconceptions you experience from performing drag?
I found that it's people think it's a kink. For me,
like a sexual
fetish thing. Like some people think that I do it because it turns me on, or because I want to like like they think I'm like some kind of sex worker or something in it. And it's definitely, for me personally, it definitely is not that. It can be for somebody else and that's totally fine. But for me, it's more the performance and the costumes, and I just like it. I think it's fun.
And for you, Scarlett?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think like drag and being trans are the same thing, and I'll say, oh, I'm a drag queen, and so many people are like, oh, so you live your life as a woman, and there's a big difference between, you know, being transgender and being a drag queen. You know, they, like, transgender people, they live their life every single day as that chosen gender, but we kind of do this for like the glam and the excitement and kind of, you know, just the fun of it. So a lot of people kind of misconstrue like, oh, so you live your life as a woman every day. And that's a lot of the reason. Some people are like, what's a drag queen? Like, what does that mean? You're a what? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Women
kind
can
of
also
funny.
because women can also dress up as men,
there's
right?
bio queens. Yeah.
Or there's even women who dress up as drag queens.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you want people to know about drag queens that they might not know?
What do people not know? But
What don't they know?
Like, how much money do you spend on that?
Yeah, it'd be nice to know how much money I
Too much
spend.
money. Yeah, the wigs and the hair. A lot of people see it actually as oh, they must have so much fun and partying, and like it's so easy to do that. And I feel like a lot of people actually go into it going, oh, that's so easy. It must be so much fun to just party and drink and do everything. But when you're kind of on a level where you're doing it almost as a career, I do it as a career. This is my full-time job. Juice is pretty much doing it as a career. It's expensive. The hair, the makeup, the costumes. We get most of our costumes custom made. It adds up.
Yeah.
and sometimes it adds up more than what we're getting paid, and you kind of have to be like, oh, slow down a little
Like,
bit.
look at your month and be like, okay, how many gigs do I have this month? How much money am I going to make? Why does that
How can I
costume
get
cost
another
this
costume?
much?
Yeah.
So why do you keep doing it?
It's great.
It's exciting. Honestly, I never thought I'd be here in my life. If you asked me 5-10 years ago if I'd be doing this, I would have laughed. I've traveled the world doing this, and I never for once thought I could be doing this as a career, and I could be doing like a hobby and just having fun and meeting people and, you know, inspiring people. I have so many drag queens that inspire me, and then people come to our shows and they're like fans of ours, and it's just it's crazy to think that like we have fans and we're inspiring, you know, youth and other people. And
How do you inspire youth and other people?
It depends. Like, it can be anything from just going on stage and sort of having that confidence can inspire somebody, or even like a friend of mine was even telling me a story the other day where she had done Somewhere Over the Rainbow on stage. My friend Cassandra Moore, she just did Somewhere Over the Rainbow on stage, and this was right after Orlando, and I guess one of the boys in the audience had just like connected with that song and just like burst into tears and like thanked her after, being like, you know, thank you so much, because I haven't been able to cry, and that was sort of my opportunity to sort of let my emotions out. So that it can be something as small as that, right?
Do you consider, I mean, you brought up Orlando and the tragedy that happened. Do you consider drag a political act?
I do. A lot of queens, you know, they put on a wig and they you know, run around and they think it's just a party. And a lot of the time it is a party. But especially after the tragedy in Orlando, I've realized that this whole time we've been activists, and you know, and now's kind of our time to stand up and to do something about it. And even little things like going back to inspiring people, little things like us going to the village and having a drink with our friends and sitting there and, you know, just being ourselves, that's us being activists, you know, like kind of being who we are and being not afraid. And this is kind of inspiring people to do that. And I would love to do more, and I'm always wanting to do more. You know, we have a voice, we have like some sort of level in the public eye and in our community. So I feel like we need to go above and beyond and do more, right?
Juice Boxx?
Well, I mean, you're given a platform, right? You're on a stage, there's lights on you. If you don't take that opportunity to sort of kind of become an activist or be able to say those things, it's sort of a waste, right?
But do you ever feel unsafe?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what situations?
Well, me personally, I live north of the city. I live at Don Mills and Shepherd, and I have to cab everywhere. So even I don't feel safe taking the subway. I don't feel safe if I'm doing something outside of the village. I don't feel safe from even my car to the venue, right? Like my boyfriend will drop me off and I'll like grab my stuff, hat on, and just like walk right in. Like it's when you're not in that sort of like confined space of Church
That
and
safe
Wellesley,
space, yeah.
that safe space or those bars. Like we've known too many people who've gotten like beaten up just walking, right? Or even mistaken for a drag queen and they call them like a tranny or something and they beat them up and take their things just for existing, right? So I personally don't feel safe in some of those areas.
4 years later, and the careers for both of them have taken off. They were contenders on the first season of the television series Canada's Drag Race that's currently airing on Crave. With us now to find out about that and more, we're pleased to welcome back Juice Boxx, who joins us tonight from Toronto. Hi, Juice Boxx.
Hi, how are you?
So nice to see you. I mean, I wish we could do this in person, but this is the second best thing. Thanks so much for being on the show.
No worries.
So both you and Scarlett ended up on Canada's Drag Race, the first season. How amazing is that?
I mean, it's pretty wild because it definitely wasn't something, especially when we had seen you originally, that we thought would ever really happen. Like we had just put it in our minds that it was just like never going to be a thing. So to have it actually be a reality this year is like kind of nuts.
How has that changed your career since being on the show?
I mean, I have a lot more opportunities. A lot more people like know who we are. We have a lot more exposure. But I mean, with a COVID world, it kind of just feels the same.
It feels the same. 4 years ago, you were on the show, as I mentioned. What was it like for you? How was the show received?
The TVO interview?
Yes.
Really well. Oh,
Yeah.
really, really well. I had a lot of people say that they loved it, that they thought it was really fun and educational for a couple people who weren't sort of in the know about what was going on within the drag community, especially in Canada.
I find it interesting because I had a few comments, and it surprised me because drag performers have been around as far back as ancient Greece. There were drag performers during Shakespearean times, yet it still seems to make some people uncomfortable. Why do you think that is?
I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy, right? And there's always going to be people who are uncomfortable with different lifestyles that aren't their own or what they see as normal. So you're always going to get those people, but it's just about sort of ignoring them. And hopefully one day they can be educated enough to sort of open their minds up to different things. But if they're not, then that's their loss. And they just live this like sad little lifestyle in their own little bubble.
Do you find that within the last 4 years that maybe you have a bit more support or people are more in tune to the culture?
A little bit, yeah. It happens a little bit every year. Like you find people who aren't so in tune to it sort of just fade away, and then you start to get a lot more support as it becomes more and more mainstream. Because now it's like a juggernaut. Like there's like RuPaul's Drag Race Live, like in Vegas, and there's like drag queens everywhere. You have like drag queen story time in libraries and stuff. So I feel it is quite a lot more mainstream now, 4 years later. So it's easier to sort of get into a newer generation and sort of change their ideas and be a lot more welcoming to those things.
Well, because I know that when we all look at you, there's the glam. It seems so much fun. But I'm guessing that behind the screens, when you're not on stage, it might be a different reality.
Yeah, I mean, I've never gotten a whole lot of flack in person. It always is a little bit more online by people who kind of get behind their keyboards and they can say whatever they want. But in person, face to face, I've never had a whole lot of trouble.
When you were on the show with Scarlett 4 years ago, we did talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, and you said that you thought the show kind of watered down drag queen culture. Has your perception changed since being on the show, or do you still think that to be the truth?
I mean, yes and no. It's an incredible show and it's an incredible platform. But it does show quite a large variety of drag, and it has shown quite a large variety of drag over the years because it has grown. But there's no way to sort of cover every facet of drag with a TV show that only has 12 people on it, right? So it's growth, and it takes time, but hopefully more doors will open, and I love all drag, so.
Well, on the show too, it's not all glam, and you also get really deep about your own individual stories. And you talked about the fact that you've been sober for a few years. Going into taping the show, was that something that you wanted to talk about, or is that something that just came up and you thought that you were in a safe space to share?
I mean, both. Sort of, it was something that I did want to touch on because I wanted to be really visible with with the way that I lived my life and what I had struggled with in the past. Because I know from my experience watching the show, when I see someone open up, it can really help other people. So I wanted to be able to open up about those things, so hopefully I could help someone, or I could kind of give someone visibility so they could be able to take the proper steps for themselves to create a better life for them.
And not to get too much into your business, but I have to ask, how did you end up on the path to sobriety?
It was just, for me, it was just one day I had just sort of realized like this wasn't the person that I wanted to be anymore. There was a lot of things that were coming up, and people were saying things to me about how I was acting when I was drinking. And I was sort of realizing the way that it was affecting my relationships and realizing the way it was affecting my everyday life and my health. So I was just like, okay, I'm done.
Was it nerve-wracking? If you could think back to the first time that you did perform without drinking, did it affect your performance, or were you nervous? How did you feel?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. So obviously it wasn't that much of a big deal. Because I never really needed it to get on stage. For me, it was something that was so accessible to me. It was just something that I felt like I would partake in. Because I wouldn't binge drink and then be like, okay, now I can perform, right? It was one of those things where I would start with my cocktail and then I would just continue.
Because you're at a party, right?
Yeah, you're at a party and you're enjoying the party and you're partaking in, everything that's there. So for me, it was just slowing that down and eventually just sort of phasing the people out who had influenced me negatively and kind of creating a better situation in life for myself.
So the night for the show that you were on, your challenge, I just realized you had to create a dress. You had to create something that had to do with Much Music. I was a Much Music VJ back in the day. But it's kind of like the amount of skills that you need to do, like to sew and all that. So can you sew now?
Okay, so here's the thing. I can sew, but I can only sew one dress really well. And I decided to take a chance and do something that wasn't that one dress and try something else. And then it kind of,
it ended up, yeah.
Yeah. And there was one part of the sewing machine that I just like completely forgot how to like do, but like I'm gonna learn eventually.
Listen, there's no judgment, because watching the show, you get so tense, and when you look on stage with the things that you created, it's like, wow, I can't even thread a needle. But something happened the night that you were eliminated. I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about it, but what happened when you were about to be eliminated?
My panic attack, is that what you're referencing?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it was something, anxiety is something that I've really struggled with for the past couple years. Like the past 3 years, it's gotten quite bad. And it just happened. There was just a lot of factors that just kind of sort of fed into it. I recently spoke with my therapist about it, and we sort of figured out the root to all of it and why I was so triggered in that moment. But it was just one of those things where it was just like a series of things that had happened that day that had led to that moment. And it happened, and I was just like, it wasn't something that I could necessarily control, because in my mind I was just like, I'm rather going to faint or I'm going to die. And I was just like, and I don't want to be the girl that faints or dies on the Drag Race stage. And obviously those aren't realities, but those were what my mind had made up. So I just had to take control of the situation, calm down, and then just sort of just let them. I just had to be vocal with my needs. I just had to be like, I just need a minute. I need to kind of center myself back to where I need to be and pop back up.
You were really graceful. You were grace under fire. And I also felt like you don't be embarrassed, because it felt like you were saying, I'm okay, I'm okay. You didn't want to be that person that everybody was like, trying to help. So I thought that was really cool.
Thanks. And definitely in the moment it feels embarrassing, but then like looking back on it, it's something that so many people go through because I've had like so many people reach out to me about
Mhm.
that they go through the exact same thing or their panic attacks look the same way. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just sort of something that you need to definitely seek help for because it's not something that is convenient in a daily life.
Mhm.
But it's definitely something that you can work through and you can sort of find a way to change it.
And watching the show, there is a lot of competition, but I also get the sense there is a lot of community.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you walk in, you're almost like you see them as your competition, but you also see them as like sisters, right? Because you're all in this common experience together and you almost share this common thing that no one else really knows about except for the girls who have already been through it. But even with Canada, like no one's been through Canada before. No one's been through the very first season and this crew and this production. So for us, we almost like immediately bonded and was just like, okay, we're a family now.
Well, how does it feel to be part of that history?
Cool. Really cool. But it still doesn't feel real because we're not like doing these big grand things because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we're all just kind of still at home. So I think eventually it'll feel like that real grand new reality that we're in. But right now we're just sort of in this like funky limbo.
Mhm. Well, on the show, when you were on 4 years ago, you mentioned that when you were traveling around Toronto, I know there's not a lot of traveling going on right now, but before all of this happened, you said that you didn't feel safe being on the subway or being in certain parts of the city. Do you still feel like that, or has it gotten better?
No, I still feel like that. That's 100% a very real thing is I like this, like dressed like this to go to work, I will never get on the subway in drag unless it's Pride. I will never get on the like even walking in a space that isn't my own, I still have that sense
Mhm.
that I'm not in a safe area for me,
Mhm.
which is sad. And I hope that, and that may just be my own insecurities because I do know that there is a lot of girls who will go out and do that, but I have seen too many people get assaulted or robbed or hurt when they're in drag. And I just don't want that to be me.
It seems like to be visible because you're on the show, you're on social media. It's important for you to be seen by other kids in the community. Yes.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, 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 definitely. But to live your life so outwardly is also to take a risk. And there's just certain risks that I don't want to take, and other girls that can take them, and they're brave enough. And snaps to them, great job.
Mhm.
But for me, it's just something that is still something that I struggle with.
But like you said it last time we spoke, just being here and being who you are is a political act in itself, right?
Exactly. Just existing is great.
Yeah. Juice, I wish we had more time, Juice Boxx. You look amazing. I love the freckles. Thanks so much for chatting with us, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Before certain big-name brands of soda pop came to Ontario, small local brands served up summer refreshments across the province. Nick Dunn is our Ontario Hub journalist covering the Northeast, and he joins us now from Sudbury on why the town of Temagami just bought the trademark for a once popular ginger ale that carries its name. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jan.
Now, for your latest piece for TVO.org, you got to delve into the history of soda pop here in Ontario. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's surprising that such a frivolous kind of product like soda carries this actual history within the development of towns in the province and even the country. But it really goes back to the industrialization of Canada at the turn of the century, of the 20th century, between the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Canada was really industrializing, and a lot of the towns lacked a potable water supply. So local businessmen, who owned the town well, the local spring, began bottling water. But as these towns continued to develop, as more people were able to set up their own well water, as municipal tap water became a thing, they had to pivot. So they pivoted to soda. There are companies all across the province, that had their local soda. There was Temagami Dry, there's Muskoka Springs, there was Pure Spring in Ottawa, which became a company that was selling over $50 million worth of pop, by the mid 20th century.
Now, when we talk about soft drinks, we obviously have to talk about Coke and Pepsi. Now, how did that shift when they first arrived in the province?
Yeah, absolutely. So between the 20s and the 50s, depending on the market, Coca-Cola approached these small-time soda producers and said, look, you've got the equipment. We know we want you guys to produce a little bit of our Coca-Cola, distribute it with your established networks, and it was a mutual gain at the time. But quickly, Coca-Cola overpowered these companies. They had the marketing, they had the capital behind them, and very soon, demand for Coca-Cola soon outrose that of the local sodas. So, we're seeing this really kind of classic case of small business in the 20th century being kind of crushed by larger corporations, right? And we saw companies like Pure Spring, they went out of business by the 90s. And a lot of these sodas, either, they bent the knee to Coca-Cola to distribute Coca-Cola, or they either went out of business.
Now, I want to talk about Town Council, Temagami's Town Council. They tell us about why it's important for them to preserve Temagami Drive.
Yeah, so much like small soda, it's really hard running a small municipality, especially a rural municipality, especially a northern rural municipality. They're doing other things to try to boost business in the area by improving things like broadband. But this is kind of this quirky little story here where they're trying to kind of capitalize on the brand and the region. I've got a bottle here of Temagami.
Nice.
You can see it features pines. So Temagami has some of the world's last old growth pines. It has it evokes clear water, and Temagami it's a derivative of the Anishinaabe word for deep water. So it really capitalizes on that brand, and that area has some world-class rivers and lakes. So they're looking for some kind of business spark and trying to rally the community around it.
Well, I look forward to that, and of course, hopefully when this pandemic is over, maybe we can have a drink when this deal goes through, and hopefully more things happen. Nick Dunn, appreciate you on the show. Thank you so much. That's Nick Dunn, our Northeastern Ontario Hub journalist. And that's it for tonight's Agenda in the Summer. I'm Jan Jagnaldan. Thanks for watching TVO and for joining us online at tvo.org. NAM will see you again on Monday as we begin our series in partnership with AMO, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, on what cities and towns in the province are talking about at their annual conference. Have a great weekend.
The Agenda in the Summer with NAM Kiwanuka is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. Ontario Hubs are made possible by the Barry and Lori Green Family Charitable Trust and Goldie Feldman, and by viewers like you. Thank you.